Hi, folks, my fans, friends, and anyone who be interested in this. Okay, this is Moral High Ground, and I'm talking about what's morally right. And the topic has been for a while the homeless situation, of course. Now, I took a week or so off because I've been trying to really pinpoint how to have a solution. Now, I randomly go off about how you can take 2 or 3 million and gone and create a whole town for the homeless people. And I just pretty much go on the fact that there's wealthy people out there that could actually do this. I mean, there's like a website, or well, not even a website, it's a YouTube show where they talk about the wealthiest comedians and they go all the way up to the top to Jerry Seinfeld, the most wealthiest actors, the most wealthiest politicians, and so on and so forth. Look it up, just type it in the search and you'll see what I'm talking about. So, with so many millions and billions of dollars that a lot of famous wealthy people have, I don't see why a couple million wouldn't help to just create something small and reasonable for people. But another solution that I came up with is outside of that and outside of the government itself, local governments buying land up and, pretty much building something there themselves, which shouldn't be a problem at all, seeing how they're pocketing money in the first place. But my honest to God truth is this: I believe that if we're gonna make America a great country or a good country, because people, as soon as you say great with America, they automatically talk about Donald Trump. This ain't Donald Trump. This is just me talking to you about trying to find a solution to help the homeless that will automatically help us. So it's like one hand washes the other. You help the other Americans, and Americans will help other Americans, and so forth, and then we're all cool again, or somewhat cool. There's no way of fixing the cool until everyone understands each other and able to work with harmony and get rid of some of the stuff that's stupid, like sundown laws. Even though I don't think that really happens anymore, but it might happen in some states. It just doesn't happen around this one, I guess. But then again, I could be wrong. But so my point is this, okay? So I did my research. That's why I haven't did an episode in a while. I've been doing research on how to get people housed, and yeah, I looked around in other states, and there's not that many. There's tons of open land, of course, but I believe there's some kind of conspiracy theory that I came up with recently that the reason why a lot of people don't occupy these lands isn't about protecting wildlife. It's about stopping humans from realizing what's truly out there that people be searching for all the time, and maybe Bigfoot or Sasquatch or Bigfoot is Sasquatch, but like I don't know, Dracula or werewolf or something. And so that stop us from going in the wilderness and trying to habitate in those places where those people or creatures are mostly known. And that's just some stupid crap I came up with. I don't know why. Watching something in somebody's place and stupid crap. And I had some relative tell me about watching some aliens do some crap, and it turned out to be giants and some other. It goes on and on and on, but that had nothing to do with what I'm talking about here. So, so like randomly just went off topic about some crap. But anyway, so here's what I'm talking about. So I decided that the best way for a solution to house the homeless is to find a ghost town, restore it, and add homeless people to it. Now, I've done a whole bunch of research looking into things, and I tell you, it's actually possible. This could happen. It could happen with a lot of different solutions and ways. One way it could happen is the first, find a ghost town. Okay, let's see it going here. So, wait, that's gotta go all the way back. Oh man, I wrote a lot of stuff down, and I got it in my notes on my phone because at work I can't really just write stuff down on stuff. But anyway, so that's my notes. Well, let's get down to the nitty gritty. First, so many states have ghost towns. Now, a lot of them might be maybe 2 or 3 or 4 or 5 ghost towns or whatever. But here in Oregon, we have this many ghost towns. or whoa, crap! What the hell? No, go away. What is this? Okay. I don't know what's happening. Stop it. Go away. Okay, hold on. Wait a minute. Okay. God dog it. Things be popping up all the time on my computer. So last time I actually was talking about ghost towns, I said there was like 80, and I said there was something. Here's the exact total by Google search. It is 256 ghost towns in Oregon, as the most out of the whole entire country. It even says that, but it breaks it down to just 200. When really, if you get like 50, like if you say like 150, 250, then you might as well just round it off to the next number. So it should just round off to 300. But this is what we got here. And then I broke it down to, because these are so many different towns right here that they're naming right here. Whitney's one of the ones on my list. So instead of going through all ghost towns, like here it's like 256 ghost towns, and then down here it'd be 22 ghost towns that they broke it down to. Well, I broke it down for the simplest of things because we're only talking about ghost towns in Oregon, and we're talking about getting the homeless housed. And so, with that, I came up with 4 ghost towns. Instead of making, okay, obviously, no one's had the money to turn 256 ghost towns into cities and towns. Okay, no one has enough money, and if they did, they're gonna go broke real quick. And there's a little bit more to it than that. So I broke it down to 4 towns. Okay, let me see here. One is Shaniko. Now, when I did the research on Shaniko, Shaniko is actually still a town, but they consider it a ghost town. Don't ask me why. But it's considered a ghost town here in Oregon, but it has a population of 200. So Shaniko isn't really that much of a ghost town, but because the population is low, it can do for more, a bigger population. You have more people come in and increase the population of Shaniko. Now, at the same time, they got a lot of stuff there that's still from the old town, and so it can be a historical thing and bring people there as tourists to see a museum or whatever they have going on to keep people interested in Shaniko, and then some people might want to move there. Another ghost town I came up with is Sumter. So anyway, first off, let me go back. Shaniko, known as the wood capital of the world, at least it used to be. In the early 1900s, Shaniko is a well-preserved ghost town with several historical buildings. And this is why I say Shaniko would be perfect for a historical museum or something to get people to come in and actually, enjoy what the history of the town and might find it interesting to stay there. But like I said, it already has a population of 200, so it's just trying to increase the population and make sure it's a well-stable population too, not, chaos. So the next one is the okay. Sumter, whatever. Okay, I'll think of how to say it better later. This is the only way I can think of it. So anyway, this next town, the former gold mining town, Sumter has a rich history, and there's a migrant. Wait a minute. The hell did I write here? Its mining pass includes a large degree. Anyway, so this town here, some SUMPTR, has only a population of 20. So it's still a town, still has a population of 20, has several ghost town buildings in there, okay, so you can actually turn this town around and once again have a historical thing based off the gold mine that it used to have, and add more people inside there, even have like a little Renaissance thing, get people fool's gold. There was some place between here and California where they gave gold to people, like fake gold, and it was like fool's gold, but It was representing the town itself, and I can't remember what it was. But I had this fool's gold for a long time, and you're like, "What's that? What's that?" Because it was really silver looking, but it's kind of a little bit of the tint of like some kind of gold type color. But yeah, it was fool's gold. But okay, so another town. Now this town is pretty much vacant. It's actually what the title Ghost Town means. Okay, it's Whitney. And Whitney doesn't have anything there. It has it has old buildings from the early 1900s, and it has a population of zero people there. And the cool part about it is it can be repopulated, restored, and so forth. Um, so once a bustling logging town, Whitney is now mostly abandoned, with a few remaining structures. So the few remaining structures are just like little tiny buildings that some of them are falling apart, some of them are just rotting away, and some of them can be restored. So it's a place where you can populate the town. And once again, it used to be a logging town, so it could be a historical thing with a museum or reenactments or whatever to draw tourists there to enjoy the town. And then the last one is Golden. Golden is another town. This one is interesting because it doesn't really have a structure, but it has a church. And so it says here, a small mining town, Golden has a few preserved buildings, including a church and a couple of houses. I'm about to say horses. Houses. Now, the thing with that is, it mostly is a church. These other things are pretty much, like kennel. They're like on the ground, like pieces of wood and stuff. There's nothing really there. And, it's another town that doesn't have a population. So, Whitney and Golden is the main two that would be a big start for fresh new faces to create a town. But once again, Golden is actually another former mining town. And so with all these towns, they're all former, things of industry. So it's like, the first one, Shaniko, has some kind of history as a wood capital, which is not a thing no more. And, then you got the whole mining town, and then you got the logging in another mining town. So historical things are a big step. Okay. Let's see here. So we can go inside and look at some of these towns and see what they need. So there's also more towns. Okay, there's one called Hardman, and I looked through some of these towns and I put them down here, and I was like, okay, these towns would be all good for. I forgot I wrote these other towns down, but I broke it down to those four because I thought those four might be interesting to try to repopulate. And seeing how the Shaniko has 200, you could take some people there and give them new titles as jobs if you decided to put the homeless there to help increase the population and the town, and have some people be like farmer, teaching people how to farm, teaching people how to live off the land, places like that. Actually add some kind of rehab center, have some of the people work there to help them live normal lives like they do in Shaniko, and build like a historical society type of thing, and so forth. So that brings me to my next point of what I'm talking about. So in the plans I wrote down, if I can find them here, what I'm looking at. Oh yeah, okay. I said yeah, that's okay. So there are interesting people. Okay, yeah, and restore buildings in a ghost town. So, made to preserve and restore buildings, historical, educational properties. In other cases, individuals and families might move into a ghost town, drawn by its unique history and the acquired of the hell I write here. It's like I don't know what to do. Okay, but quaint lifestyle. So anyway, I wrote all this crap about how I don't feel like reading all this nonsense. But I feel like it's about time I do a moral high ground. But anyway, so what I pretty much wrote right there was trying to explain how to restore town and actually put people in the town. First off, restoring the buildings, but because the history of the town, you can, including opening businesses like restaurants, shops, or museums that cater to visitors' interest in the town's history. So pretty much you would open these type of businesses and then you would explain the history of the town, have people dress like they used to dress in the town back in the day, things like that to make it more of a tourist attraction. It doesn't have to really be a tourist attraction, but just to represent the town and say, hey, this is where we are, this is what this town is, and people from there that's coming there to live there, which will be the former homeless, because they won't be homeless anymore. And that would be a thing to say this is a town. Okay. Restoring Ghost Town can attract tourists as history buffs and those interested in unique experiences. Visitors often spend money on guided tours, logged. I want to say logged. What the hell? I write here. Anyway, food and survivors or whatever crap. That doesn't, I'm not gonna spell that one right. Which can boost the local economy. Additionally, the preservation, whatever, historical site. So whatever. I'm not gonna read my chicken stretch on here because I half sleep when I wrote this crap anyway. So historical sites and active grants and funding for further restorations project. Okay. Resurrection projects, resurrection, whatever. This kind of tourism known as hundreds, whatever, culture, tour, yeah. I'm messing all this crap up. Let me just explain it in the simplest of ways. To make this happen, you're gonna need money. You're gonna need money from, like pretty much the government, local government. You have to go to a historical society to try to ask them to help you make this business happen, and to make this town happen. Can we restore this town? Can we have help from the historical society as well as the local government to get money for it? Now they're gonna try to snowball you and tell you that you can't get the money, but that's where cloud funding comes in, or whatever, like GoFundMe. And I don't think a worthier cause than trying to make a small town and get the homeless off the street sounds way better than trying to pay some couple like that one time a while back where the couple was faking like this dude's homeless and they're going to give him money. Instead they pocketed all the money and ended up going to jail. So I would say this would be a more grateful thing to get the people off the streets, is to try to do a GoFundMe for the town itself, along with the historical society and the local governments, to try to make this a small town thing work and to restore the places, to keep the people housed. Now, like I said, you're going to need, first off, there's going to have to be some kind of jobs, and the jobs will have to come from people that are homeless and decide to work on the buildings themselves, along with trying to keep a mental facility there, a clinic of some kind, as well as a rehab center. Okay, rehabilitation center, rehab center, and a job source type of thing, based off of things that have to do not with city work type stuff like office work and all that. Leave that to the city and bring back trying to have people understand how to live off the land, with the land, and to import, export things that came from that land. So these are things I came up with. Another one, I don't really have to read this. I know what the hell I wrote. So I have to go over my crap, but I'd be nervous because I'm on camera. So it's all messed up. But anyway, so the next big thing with trying to help people who are homeless is the whole fact of trying to find a solution to how they can get over the hump off of their addictions or whatever. And you can't really say, okay, this person's addicted, we can't give them no help, because you never know. Some of them are, some of them aren't. Some of them went through some kind of crisis. And basically, like I said before, the way the economy is, housing costs is, people are all going to end up homeless unless somebody does something about it. But in this situation, it's a win-win. Okay, you get the small town that was back again. You get with the historical society, you definitely want to make some kind of like museum, Renaissance fair type of thing. People dress up like pioneers from back then. Or you make an amusement park, which is the biggest idea I got. Make an amusement park based off of whatever's going on in that town. Doesn't have to be super big. I mean, and I think Oregon deserves to have amusement parks. So with these towns, and they're pretty far apart from each other. But if you made an amusement park in each one, and then Oregon has amusement parks, because we only got Oaks Park, and that's not really. It's more like a fair compared to a park, a big amusement park. And so we want something like that. Then you can take the local characters like the Simpsons, and or something like that, and make them part of the thing. Even Box Trolls was made here in Oregon, along with the California Raisins. You got to figure out who owns the rights to all these characters, though, to make an amusement park. So that'd be a whole certain thing, but that'd be totally different than whatever's going on in the history of that town. And you could actually take some of the well-known people of that town before it became abandoned and make them characters for some kind of little show or movie about the town, and which will also bring more tourists to the town and make more of a population for that town. And so that'd be great. Then the next thing you have to do is create community. And, oh man, what I write about that. Anyway, I was talking about so let me not go there real quick. But so the first thing, like I said, you have to ask federal and state. You have to ask federal, state for grants in the U.S. The National Park Service offers grants through programs like historic. Once again, everything is about historic because these places have been around for 100 years. So, grants through programs like the historic reservative funds. However I said that. Many states also have their own grants, and so you have nonprofit organizations, groups such as the National Trust or historical preservatives, whatever, or state specific whatever organization. Offer. God dang it, I can't talk on camera, yo, or read on camera. But anyway, so other things offering historical sites, added money funding those historical sites. So that's a big thing. And then you have a tourism thing. Some grants are aimed at developing tourism in areas with historical significance, helping to fund restoration, whatever, epic as part of a broader economy development plan. So it's like some kind of plan thingy. And let's see, community funding. And this is where the whole thing I was saying about community funding comes in. I pretty much just explained all that when I was saying that you could do like a GoFundMe type of thing and try to get things to work. And you'd have to get it across through, what I put. You have to put it through the government and historical sites, historical community. So you can get the thing going. Research and planning, identify a ghost town, which I've already done. I identified 4 ghost towns that I think would be efficient to try to get people to live there. And form a team. You have to form a team. Okay. A group of, including restorations, architects, contractors, professionals. I don't know who the professionals are, to help with the project. Volunteers and community members can also play a valuable role. Looking for so anyway, source funding. Once again, we keep talking about source funding. So look for grants, seniorships, let's say, and donations to finance, restore, cloud funding platforms can also be a great way to urge the public to raise funds. And let's see, so on and so forth, yakety smackety. So anyway, I wrote all this stuff down. And it's like I didn't run it over and over again because I see some crap. So I was thinking about, I kept writing it over and over again. So we have to market the ghost town too. And, create a marketing strategy to promote the ghost town as a tourism. Use social media, websites, and partnerships, travel agents. Is there really any travel agents anymore? Maybe you can just go online and buy tickets and stuff. So I don't know. Anyways, to research a wider audience. So yeah, that's another thing too. You can go film some stuff in the ghost town if you wanted to, and make it more interesting. God, I wrote a lot of nonsense. Well, let's see. Government agencies. They can give government agencies provide funding, support, and access to public land. Government programs focus on housing, urban development, and social services can be instrumental. So yeah, these are a lot of things I'm saying, and whatever. So here's the next part of what I'm talking about. Okay, because we can actually sit here and talk all day about it. We're going back over here, and woo, I'm shrinking. I'm in a box. Ah! Okay, so here's what's going down. We're gonna go back here, and now I'm gonna put in the towns that I'm talking about. And they just might be on here already anyway. So let's start with Shaniko. There it goes. So it's all lit up because I've already researched it once, twice, even more than that. So they say they want you to travel there, take a trip, over here on this end. I don't know if you can see it, but over here in the corner, let me see if you can see it. I'm curious. Okay, you can't see it. But anyway, so right here it tells you the population. Oh, the population grew by 10. Because last time I looked at it, it was only 20. So now it's like a population of 30, which is a whole different concept, you know what I'm saying? It's a small town in an area that's pretty much Eastern Oregon. And say they tell you the weather there. We don't really need to know the weather, but we'll try it anyway. We'll see. We're going to tell you the weather right now. It's not going to tell you the weather year long. So right now there's a whole bunch of wind, I guess. It's winter time. So that's stupid. I don't even know why I looked that part up. Let's get rid of that. What we want to do is we want to see photos of Shaniko. Now, hotels, rooms there is only $63. Look at this, $63 a night. You can afford that if you're homeless and you're getting welfare checks or whatnot. And so here's Shaniko. Let's see. Here's what it looked like. Okay, here's all the photos of Shaniko. And we're gonna get into it. What the hell is this? Okay. So, anyway, here's their main town area, their main town city area. It looks like, something from, Gunsmoke or, Big Valley, Bonanza, anything like that. There's like some old jail cell for like toddlers or something, maybe little teenagers. And then there's a town where it looks like half of it is kind of new, some of it is kind of old. It's a nice little town. and probably a saloon there. This one's an ice cream bar. How do you get an ice cream bar? You know what I mean? Um, and then they get this big, probably like a little. This is probably like their big community center because there's like a little cafe here in the corner, and it's just very patriotic with the flags and stuff in that old early 1900 style. And once again, another jail cell for toddlers. Got fancy cars back here on this side. On that side, you probably got more housing. Um, this thing here is City Hall. City Hall is very tiny here. It ain't like living in the city, but it's big enough to know that the community can all come in there and dispute what they want in the town. And that's a perfect little tiny place. Also, the fire, what do you say, fire bridge, fire something. Anyway, and then this might be the little school classroom area, very small, not that many people. Remember, we're only talking about a population of 30 in Shaniko. So, and then here you got the hotel. So that's the hotel. I thought it was a community center, but it's a hotel. With a little whatever this is down here. And here's some of the other old towns. There's the old post office. I don't know what this is or any of these other two or three. Because there's two buildings here that happen to be blue. And here's the Old West still part of the town. So pretty much what you're seeing is this Old West stuff is actually the ghost town. The other stuff is actually part of the new part of the town. And it's not that hard to say. You could go back and say, I can change this around into something more, better. Here's an old church. This church looks like it might have been like 100 years ago. Maybe not even that. Maybe 80 years. Because there's churches that's way older in certain abandoned towns. Who knows what this was? A chicken coop or like an old general store, something. And same thing with the ice cream place. It's probably been an ice cream shop for 100 years. But you got these signs around, so there's probably some crap that happened with people wanting ice cream. I don't know. Just making up something. There's like an old car lot back here because there's some old cars. You can tell they're 60s cars. Oh shoot, I wanted to get in there like this. I guess I can't. So, but yeah, so this is perfect. So here's what it looks like at night, completely dark, one freaking city light, because there's only one small town. So it lights up the whole place. Yeah, so this is Shaniko, and this is like maybe a little museum area stuff that was there. You keep going and you find things. Now you got this old place you used to have your horses. I don't know what's this called. Holy crap. What does it say? Stored couch station? Something like that. I don't know. Can't really read it. Coach station, I think. And then there's a big old barn or whatever. And here's the old west looking way what it looked like back in the day. And here's from a further view. So see, the church isn't that far from the rest of the town. It was all in one little grouped area. And it just ended up, when you see it on cameras or whatever, Google, it looks like this. So, with that being said, we're going to stop right here with Shaniko, and I'm going to explain something. I'm going to say, like, look, this is easy to have a historical thing. Shaniko's still functioning. It was functioning a long time ago. It's just functioning now with less people. It's trying to populate the people and have them, there's plenty of land there to be able to build more things, to be able to, overpopulate. Now, the problem with building, which I wrote in here, and I'm not going to look for it because I know it's going to take me a minute because I wrote a whole bunch of stuff. And to be honest, it's early in the morning too, and whatever. My head's not already there, but I want to do this. So, the thing is this, so the problem with building a town, separate from this ghost town thing, and ghost town thing is easy kind of a little bit because it's already established. There's got to be a way to make plumbing. There's got to be a way to bring electricity to some of these places. And with a ghost town that already seems to have electricity, like Shaniko does, like I said, that big street light, wherever it was, proves that you can have electricity in this town. Should be this full right there, yeah. So this proves like, okay, there's electricity flowing through the town. There's only one post, but that's enough to start with, to be able to add more electricity, to be able to expand, make things bigger, grow more. And with a small, tight knit community, a lot of people can be safe, and connect. Now, I don't know if there is a mayor or a sheriff, but that's what starts with making a town, a community. Is you need, excuse me, you need higher ups. You need people to make the community. You need judges. You need mayors. You need sheriff. Okay, and then you can make a Wild West scene or whatever you want. You can keep it looking like the West, or you can make it look like modern day. And either way, but plumbing's a need, and so is electricity. So to build tiny homes, or I don't even like to use tiny homes anymore, but to build homes and put them in this area would be perfect. And it can take a double wide, single wide, or triple wide. You can put them together. You can put double wides together to make a bigger place. You can put two triple wides together and put two double wides on top to make a bigger housing area. And you can even put just a single and put it on top of the double wides, and it could be like a mini mansion out of freaking trailers. Not even trailers, trailer homes or mobile homes or whatever you want to call them. And I ain't talking about the ones you hitch to your car, even though you can't hitch them to a truck or whatever. But I mean, like, hitch them, together. I've seen it done like on Discovery Channel or one of those things where they're making Monster House. I wish they never got rid of that show. Monster House and Monster Garage and all that. I used to watch that stuff like religion all day. So I especially like the Treehouse one. I like that one too. And the monster tanks. So they made the tanks for basketball tanks, or no, that was Monster House. Anyway, I used to watch all that stuff. So main thing, source of power, plumbing. Trying to find a way to make it historical so people will want to come through tourists. Like I said, you could make an amusement park or anything like that, or have some reenactment like they had the Civil War reenactments, or they have the Renaissance Fair type of thing. And I mean, honestly, there's probably some girl somewhere that wants to dress like this woman right here, and wants to shoot some guy in the ass. I don't know, so it'll make a lot of sense, to keep this town going. So this is Shaniko, and this is the way it looks now. Look at this building. This is like an older picture, though. It's not recent. It doesn't look recent, But man, there has to be some evil toddlers. Look at that, blacksmith building. Which blacksmithing could be a trade you teach people, even though most people, I guess, the modern day blacksmithing is welding. So welders can outdo blacksmiths, but still, there's nothing wrong with knowing the old ways, because what if you can't get the power you need to operate the thing that gives you sparks when you're welding? I'm not a welder at all, but it'd be cool. And look at how many ghost town type of thing. I can't even figure out what the hell that says, or whatever. I don't know how to make it big. And this has been sitting there so long, it needs a new roof and things. I mean, it just has to be a boom. It could be a booming town. I really think it can. And so this is why it was number one on my list, because it's already a functioning town of 30 people. So, moving right along, show you the images of the next town I'm talking about. And we're going here, and we're gonna type it. Sumner, Sumler, something. I can't even pronounce it. Nope, that's it. Oh crap! It's okay. Yeah, there we go. So this is the one with 200, a population of 200. So it looks like it went up to 4 people. That's right, but last time I looked at it, it had a population of just 200. And so this is in Baker County. So yeah, now it's got 204 of a population, and it's not that bad. It's probably got a lot more acres, a lot more town, but this town is booming a little bit. Let's see. This guy must come from there, whatever actor he's supposed to be. And I don't know, cause it must be on one of them dumb chick shows. Well, how did I do it last time? I go here, images. What the hell's a town? No one cares about him. What the hell is it? We'll look at his joint. So yeah, that's a pretty mean structure there. Let's see what they used to do there. It was gold mining, so yeah, they were probably pulling gold out this water thing. But who knows if they could even restore that in certain ways. Just, because you could tell some things are really old there. God, no one cares about this guy. Who the hell is this guy? His last name is the name of the town. Get out of here. I'm trying to do this. Oh, oh man. So, right here they tell you it's a ghost town. And you can probably find that on YouTube or something of that nature. And I'm mad because this guy is a freaking dork. Look, he played Peter Pan or something right here. In that movie where they had the messed up the Nirvana song. That's crazy. That movie is a trip. Okay, here we go. So, dog it. All this crap is happening on my computer. Crazy, man. Swear to God. Okay. So, this is all they're showing. This is the stupid gold mine area. In these photos. Anyway. Which is the funny thing when I went and checked this out before, I'd never seen this crap. But, so, I don't know how today, out of all the time I've seen it. Let's see. Railroad map. So we go back there. Mines. Oregon mines. So apparently that's the only thing there, I guess. But it says here, let's see, what does it say? Has a rich history. Mining. Yeah, that's it, apparently. But that doesn't just mean that this is supposedly a train track area that's there in that town. So there's an old train area. We want to know about the town itself. So there's an old train station. You probably could make the trains come back through there with tourists and stuff. Seems like they have somewhat of a busting community though. They have all these people out here staring at the trains. Probably some real good old ones. Let's see, the early 2000s. So it was created in 1920, this town. That's pretty cool. And yeah. So, let's see what it'll say. I'm looking at, oh. This is township, but that's not a town. Well, alright, here's what I'm talking about. So, let's get it. So, yeah, this got this little old building thing going on in the ghost town area. Old black and white photo. There's that stupid thing. Here's, I guess it says Museum Public Library. It's pretty small. Black market, which means they was taking people's teeth and selling them. People were coming up missing here in Portland. They ended up going down there and selling body parts or something. But look, it's still like it's more of a modern day community with the way the buildings are made of bricks, and there's like certain things, there's some kind of historical thing going on here. I don't know. And look, housing community. So I mean, this is like here's a little fair they probably have every year. Small towns have them too, and it's just a thing where you can actually turn this thing around. Oh no, wait a minute. So 1862 is when this town came to be. So yeah, and they consider this a ghost town with a big building like this. They consider this a ghost town. Here's the ghost town, really. Whenever things look old, that's the real ghost town. So, Anyway, the whole thing about it is this town could be restored. And then this is the biggest the town is. So pretty much you could walk from one side of the town to the other side of the town in maybe like less than an hour because it's so small of a town. And so I would say this would be a perfect place to restore. They have water already because of little ponds around and things like that. Now this is what they consider still property, even though it's trashed. This is the type of stuff you can go in and restore, take the whole thing out, put something new in the lot right next there, and then you know people could work there or live there, depending on what it would be. But there's so many ghost towns that are just with buildings like this. But here you have buildings that are all functional, like these ones that people can live in. You know, like this is the whole town. I think. Is this the same town? Yeah. So this is the photo of what the town looks like now, kind of. And yeah, I mean it can be more land. So this is up sky view. I mean, look at this open space you got here. You can build some stuff here. You know, you can move some of these people, but you don't have to. With these trees there, you gotta get rid of some of those. I don't know. It depends on who would want to go through the steps I'm talking about to work with a historical society and federal government, local government, and you know either do some you know GoFundMe type of stuff to get the money and try to find a way to add more uh, tourism to this town. You know, now you got certain things. So this is the certain things that can make you can if you have enough areas. From right here, from the sky view, this is the town area, and all of this is empty, but it's all still part of the same town. So I mean, that's a lot of open space right here in this whole region down here. I'm trying to. My mouse sucks today. But yeah, in this whole region, you can put something new. You know, there's like a church or college or some kind, school. City town hall is what it was called. Town hall. And this is probably a hotel. And there's probably another hotel with a nice little restaurant. It's actually quite quaint. Golf course probably because there's golf clubs everywhere. So anyway, this is that town, and that town is population of 204. So it just there's a better picture of what's happening, and yeah, I don't see why it can't restore and make this town even more functional than it already is. So moving right along, we're going to Whitney is the next town, and then funny thing, as soon as I write Whitney, it's gonna be all this Whitney Houston crap because I did it before. And here we go, Whitney the ghost town. The last time I searched it, I was like Whitney, and I kept trying to find it, and I said, oh, let me add ghost town to it. Yeah, that's how I got the photos of Whitney. Um, I can't drink no more coffee. It's burning my throat. So Whitney, oh shoot, let me go back. I was trying to explain something, but let's go here. Um, well, all right. Now, Whitney is truly abandoned. Over here, it doesn't tell you anything about how many people the population is, and you know it shows you how to get there. Route 7, Southwest. You know, of the same town I just talked about. So it's not too far from Stampter, Slumpter. I can't even say it. So anyway, here's what Whitney looks like. Whitney just has tiny little houses like huts type things. There's no population. It's all the same. And because it's close to the other town, it could be a sister town to that town. And so it would be two towns where the homeless people actually can make a community and communicate between the two towns if they do it right. But this town would need plumbing and electricity. So it's very important to understand that this place is all out there in the woods, as you can tell. Some of these buildings truly need to be restored. Like this is like complete damage to, the whole thing. It was not even damage like someone damaged it. It's over time this happened. Weather conditions, rain, snow, mostly snow. This thing here has a little sunburn on the top of the roof here. But it's still a functionable place. So mostly this area of Whitney would be like a good farming town, farming community, ranching area, build a good livestock like with cows and whatnot. Oregon had a law change. I think I talked about it where they don't want people to be farmers, but this will be something to teach people how to live off the land again, to get them away from trying to all live in the city. Because I think the biggest problem is none of us in the city know how to do these things unless you've already been raised around livestock and animals. Because then if something disaster just happens and uh, people are in the middle of a life crisis where they need to get food for people, shelter, and things like that, a lot of people would die because they don't know how to hunt, they don't know how to butcher, they don't know how to do any of those things. And so this is the best solution is to rebuild Ghost Town and populate it with homeless folk. See, like I said, this guy's got livestock like cows, got some steers out there. This is another damaged spot. So he would take this. So instead of just taking this damaged spot and saying, okay, we're gonna rebuild it, you can't just rebuild it. You got to tear that thing down and rebuild something totally different. And with doing so, I believe that you would have to put like something that, like a little housing area or some form of building, like like I said, like a rehabilitation center or something like that, and add some outdoor activities and things, or a work center, or even a clinic. A clinic would be the best thing to have out in that area because there's none. And so this is another area of the town where there's nothing there but abandoned turret buildings. So this is the town. This is the whole town of Whitney. And I don't think, it's not too far from the other town. And Shaniko is not too far from either one of them. So what you're doing is by picking these four in the same region, you're making it easy so you can have a net community. It's just like, you just think about Portland, okay? We got Portland, downtown Portland, southeast Portland, northeast Portland, north is that way. Anyway, North Portland, you got all these Portland areas, but you got the outside regions. You got Tigard, you got Hillsboro. I wrote a song about it years ago. My homeland's in Portland, Beaverton, Tigard, and Hillsboro. My brother's in Tillamook, and something in Gresham, all that. I can't remember how the whole song goes. But anyway, you got all these boroughs of my whole English language is messed up this morning. Okay, and it's like 6 in the morning right now. I've been up since 4. But anyway, the whole thing is like this, okay? You have all these borough, whatever, these different regions, provinces of Portland. So let's say Shaniko was the main spot you put the homeless people, then they're able to connect to, Whitney, Golden, because they're all close by. And so they'll all be, one of those towns will end up being the main hub of all them towns. And then the other towns will connect to them and communicate with them. And eventually they'd be its own city down there. Homeless folks. Now, tiny homes is a funny thing, but this thing right here, if you usually say this is a tiny home, you already know there's got to be a kitchen in there, a bathroom. It's got to be a little bit more than that crap the state's sitting there putting out around the city. That's really not good for homeless people at all, especially disabled ones. This thing here, you could tell it was some kind of little factory hub or storage place or even a little farm area where, raising chickens and things and whatever, but they were doing some kind of farming type business in there. This thing can build the same. I think what I would do, I should say, is I would measure the land and how many square foot of this building was and build something exactly the same there, but make it to where there's like a business or some kind of, like I said, medical facility there, and be able to keep people in there and house them. So it's not a bad thing. This whole idea is not bad. It's the same building, And so, yeah, this is a ghost town. Whitney, what the hell? Let me see, read that sign again. It says please drive. It says please drive speed something by slow 30 30. I don't know what that means. So I want you to go 30 miles an hour through the whole neighborhood. So this is Whitney, and as you see, this is like an old picture of Whitney. It's just an abandoned town and has no population whatsoever. And so with my list of the four, I automatically think Whitney should be the number one town to be restored, to have a medical facility, mental health facility, rehabilitation center, as well as like local restaurants, things that people can do, food service, uh, have people learn how to do agriculture, farming, raise livestock, butcher, uh, build, so the people that would move there, if they were homeless, they would learn how to build buildings so they can actually live there. It would be automatic. Yeah, I forgot I wrote that. So it would be an automatic way to become a citizen of the town is to come there and start trying to restore the buildings. And if you can work constantly, restore the buildings, you get paid, and you can be able to stay there based off the fact that you're helping restore an old town. And that'll be something you have to work out with the historical community to be able to get this thing up and running again. The next part would be trying to make tourism come, or build some kind of attraction to get people to come to the town. So Whitney's the number one town on my list for that. The other two towns are still plausible to try to get people together, but this would be number one because it's abandoned and there's enough room here to put at least a couple thousand, even though we're supposed to be like over 10,000 people homeless in Portland. And to be honest, y'all, it's sad. It's so sad when you go out in the streets and you see them, man. You see them running around and living underneath bridges like trolls, and they're trying to camp out on the river. It makes no sense whatsoever. See, look at all these Whitney Houston thing. Whitney Houston comes. So the last town is Golden. Okay. And as you can tell, I looked up other towns on here. Things. So Golden's now. This is the funniest one because, God dang it, that's right. I brought up retrievers the last time I looked at it. Anyway. So Golden is this town over here, and it has no population. Once again, this town really just has a church. This is all it is. This is all what Golden is just a church, which means something that this church stayed so long. I would say restore the church and add more churches to make it really. I don't know why there's golden retrievers everywhere. But yeah, when I looked up this town, this is all I saw was all these golden retrievers, and I'm thinking, it's a dog town? And then I realized that, oh, there's nothing in that town but a church. And so, yeah, even though I haven't been there, he's not a golden retriever, he's a black retriever. If he's a retriever, I can't tell the difference. So, we got the Golden Gate Bridge and blah, 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 blah. But going back to, where the hell did the church go? There it is. So going back to this church, which doesn't seem to want to come up in a better light. Okay, wait a minute. Let's change this. What did I do last time? So I think it said Oregon. Oh yeah, Ghost Town. Yeah. Let's see what happens. Okay. Well, maybe I didn't do it the last time. But anyway, so this church is the main focal point of what they got there. And whatever this building is turning sideways. But yeah, so, and then whatever that is, probably the same building. Like I said, this church is the main thing that stayed there, stable. No population whatsoever in this town but this church. So, and there's like, yeah, okay, there's that little house right there. It's not the little house on the prairie, but what I'm saying is you can obviously see that this place could take people. It's still registered as a town, but now it's a ghost town. It doesn't look like it went that bad because, as you can see, there's a power source going to this church, and there's some kind of air funnel thingy. Um, Maybe some old saloon. Looks like nature's trying to take it back. There's a big pine tree growing over it. And looks like some grave, some old grave. If that person's family's still around, they still hold ties to this property. Not unless that's part of the church. So, yeah, so this is the old picture of the church and that little building that's falling apart next to it. So this is kind of sad if you think about it when it comes to history. So, no population whatsoever. A town named Golden. The tree looks pretty young. Has some historical value. So, here's what the inside of the church looks like. Pretty simple. It almost looks like that church from that TV show Preacher. Hell, they might have filmed it there to get people to go there. And, yeah. This is great type stuff. So there's a whole, go back, thing about the Golden and what was there, who did what, saloons, it says something, church and saloons, sounds like Compton. The churches are liquor stores. But anyway, so, yeah, so Golden's number 2 because it has no people, no population. You can add a whole bunch of stuff in there and, make it a whole new town. It doesn't have to stay like this. There's some other buildings that's in Golden. Actually, no, that's not Golden. What town is that? I just seen that one. Well, yeah, look at Shaniko. So now it's just showing any other town. So Golden had nothing but this stuff here and the church. And maybe that, what is this town? Gold Rush. So anyway, this church here is a tourist spot, and this is Golden. And I just saying that with a place where there's a church, it's a pretty good sign. A church that's the only thing standing up. It's a pretty good sign that there's something positive about that land and the people there. So I'll say that's holy land. I'll say Golden's holy land. And what do you do with God's people? You take them to the promised land. And so that promised land is Golden because there's a church with pure holy gold there. So, yeah, and I believe this could work. And, I could, bring up some of my stuff here that I can get into. But, yeah, I would say, cloud fund, source funding, starting a GoFundMe to bring these towns together along with the historical society and some stuff and add together. Now the thing about it is crunching numbers, trying to figure out how much each property would take with supplies, with time of building, trying to find out what legal papers to sign to make this official for each of the towns. Like I said, Shaniko and the Shaniko and them, the ones that got population, should automatically have some kind of thing to build and add to because there's people there already and there's still buildings that's functional. But with Golden and with Whitney, there's nothing there but old abandoned buildings that are tearing apart. So plumbing's an issue. You gotta find out how much that's gonna cost, how much electricity is gonna cost. It's gonna be a simple build, it's gonna be a hard build. How do you get the historical value to bring tourists to the town? And I'm thinking amusement parks because there's none in Oregon, and that'll be so much, people there, as well as give the homeless people jobs that come there to live there. That same thing with building. They become automatic contractors once they come to the town. Have people there to automatically teach them how to build things, as well as bring some farmers from another town. Like, hey, you want to make some extra money? Teach these guys how to grow wheat, or how to take nails out of a horse's shoe or something like that. Take off a horseshoe, put on a horseshoe, whatever. And it just make a good town. Now, I don't know how you guys feel about this episode, but I believe this could happen. And I'm kind of give you the short version because I'm looking at this crap I wrote in my little notepad on my phone is ridiculous. I didn't realize I wrote this much nonsense. But I woke up this morning like, okay, I'm gonna do this episode. Community foundation, local foundations may provide grants to support projects that benefit the community, including the resurrection of historical sites. So I think I said that already. And then, say work and authority, local and state authority, ensure compliance with zoning laws. Oh yeah, I forgot about it. Yeah. So this whole thing about zoning laws and stuff, building codes, and all that. So I mean, I really did a lot of research. I just don't feel like talking about it this morning because I'm feeling tired again. Like it's like one of those times where you wake up early in the morning and you're thinking like, okay, I can do this, and then you feel tired again later because you ain't doing nothing. So yeah, and so yeah, building codes and permits is a whole nother thing. Wow. Okay. Monitor and maintaining. Um, mm, okay. Yeah, I wrote a lot of nonsense. Um, oh yeah, running water, electricity, and sewer system. That's the other part I forgot. So you had to add a sewer system to everything to, you don't want the town to smell like shit. So you would add a sewer system and stuff, and there's a whole bunch of things. Okay, so yeah, so here it is: service and support beyond housing. Residents would need access to services like healthcare, education, transportation, and employment opportunities, which I've talked about already. Let's see, employment opportunities, support service for mental health, addiction, and job training would also be okay. So yeah, that's all the stuff I've pretty much talked about. I forgot about transportation though. So yeah, like a bus that comes around to pick people up from the town, or maybe it's a little taxi thing. But we got Uber and stuff too though. But that'll work. And then like let's say here, mental health. I said about support services. So mental health is one I've mentioned multiple times over and over again. Addiction is another one. And then job training, which is some of the jobs I'm saying have to be local type jobs. It doesn't really have to be. I mean, what's the point of teaching someone how to do like I don't know, JavaScript and stuff if they're not living in the city? I mean, they could do something from home, but there's no point in teaching them that in the middle of like rural areas. So, and let's see here. Let's see, whether local businesses, tourism, industry, other industries. So I mean, like industries. When I wrote that, I was thinking like you creating your own industry. Like let's say, like for instance, you want to make like fashion. So you want to make fabric. Most people have fashions, models and are fashion creators. I don't know what the term is. I'm not into fashion. But for instance, you need cotton, you need wool, you need these things. So you would have to get long-haired animals. You would take the long fur from them, and the way you make profit off of this, because some people think you just get animals and you just collect the fur and bang, you can make money. That's ignorant. You have to take it to a textile mill, and a textile mill will break it down into cloth to where people can then make the fashion however they want, add colors to it, design it however they want. So usually it's cotton or wool. There's other fabrics like flax seeds make some kind of thing. Silkworms make silk, of course. That's pretty hard. There's other ways to get silk, and I can't think of it right now. But yeah, so you take it to a textile mill. So you would take this textile mill and you start selling all the products to fashion designers, whichever ones that pay the most. And by doing so, you would be making an industry for that town, where the whole town collects fur and wool and whatever and make fashion clothes. And then the animals don't really have to die. You just take their fur all the time, make sure it's all long-haired animals, and except for some do have to die. If you would take a long-haired rabbit, Afghani rabbit, you have to take the whole fur, which means that whole rabbit has to die. It's not going to grow back like that. So it's something to think about. but that would make an industry for that town, which is another thing I was coming up with. And like some places, like for instance, that's the whole thing of the reason why these towns are gone. Some of them were mining towns, some of them were wood towns and stuff, and so they lost the industry of chopping wood because of the whole protect the environment type of crap. And so you have to put a whole new industry there to bring more people there for jobs and whatnot. So like what I'm saying about textile mill, perfect way to bring people back. You want to make an orchard to make, like, I don't know, frozen pies that you sell at the store. Bam, there you go. You know what I mean? Or canned fruits and vegetables. Bam, there you go. And whatever, you're making that industry in these small towns, so that'll bring more of a population back. What I'm talking about broadcasting here. Let me see. Important new residents into border community. More sense of belonging and material support. I don't know what I was talking about there. That sounds stupid. That was an idea. That was an idea. I didn't have no source like the industry idea I'm talking about. That one made more sense. Government agents. No. Oh yeah. Government program is focused on housing, urban development. I said that already. Never mind. Nonprofits, volunteers, utilities. So yeah, I came up with this idea too. Okay, so let's say you, from what I'm saying, what I wrote here, resource, possibility, employment opportunity. So what I was talking about here was I was saying, like, you know, like let's say you can't pay your light bill. There's always a place somewhere to help people pay their light bills or, you know, their gas bill or something. So I was saying, like, even in that town, you would have somebody that would help you, even if you couldn't get electricity somewhere, help you pay your bills or get electricity there. A program to help people who are in rural areas. And I think that is important too, even if you're not a homeless person trying to rebuild a town, that the rural area people, or let's just say people in country areas and whatnot, because some of y'all don't know what I mean when I say rural areas, but they have to be helped too, you know, and they get ignored. I mean, that's one of the biggest things going on in the media is that, in Oregon anyway, that they feel like they're not part of the, you know, community because everything gets helped here in Portland. And so I came up with this idea. And so this is actually an idea, not really a part of what I'm talking about, but I was saying that people will need help with these certain things. Like maybe there's some, you know, mechanic type that they need out there or something or whatever. So there'll be a service that actually only helps people in those areas, you know, that need whatever it is they need to be able to survive, you know, because it's a lot different than city living. And so that's what I was talking about with that part anyway. Community building, establishing a sense of community and insurance. Residents have access to necessary services and opportunities. General process develops over time. That's all I wrote there. You know, it's kind of the same thing. Kind of the same thing I was talking about a minute ago. Now, I'm saying zoning laws, building codes, and requirements like that. I'm talking about, of course, building things. You can't build nothing without a permit. Maybe you can get away with it, but if it's going to be all legal town, you have to make it something good. Creating establishment. Okay, so this is the biggest part I thought about, and this is the honest to God. Then, if you think about what I'm saying, if you're still paying attention, then realize I seriously studied this or took my time on this. So, economy development is a thing that needs to happen, which means creating and establishing economy opportunities to support the community will require long-term planning and development, which means establishing your own bank for the town, establishing the town's budget, Does the town have a budget? Will it have a budget? Um, who's the treasurer of that town? Stuff like that. And so that's the whole concept I came up with. And so it seems like with the Shanico and stuff that they actually might have that already. Um, it's a holistic support projects could integrate housing with support services, mental health, providing approach to helping individuals rebuild their lives. So this is a big support thing I created, where I was talking about like people that not just has physical health problems, but has um, mental health problems, addictions and stuff, have like a buddy. And I think they call them support buddies, but this is like my concept's different. So you have somebody that they can depend on, that that they don't just go to for questions, but actually walks with them in their life and tries to guide them on the right path and teach them certain things. Like they kind of take on their personality, kind of like a kung fu master and their student. That's the best way I could put it. That's the way I was thinking. So I don't know, it's ridiculous, but that's one of them. And then let's see, stable. Okay, so I came up with this energy, eco-friendly. Okay, so sustainable development, incorporating eco-friendly uh, properties and renewable energy into the development under, you know, could often be blue could offer a blueprint for sustainable low cost housing situations. So I was saying like you get a house or a building that's built for the homeless, and then you have like and you make it eco friendly and energy efficient to where, and when I say energy efficient, I mean like solar panels or wind panels and stuff, and so they have more of a cheaper uh, property to stay in. It wouldn't be something where they're in there and they're paying a high ass light bill. They're actually sustaining, you know, what we call environment friendly products and stuff, and so their rent or whatever wouldn't be high at all because they're living in the low efficiency. So that just makes more sense to me. If you're in a place that is eco-friendly and their electricity is paid with a cheaper way instead of the main grid that everyone uses that goes high up as soon as you turn on the oven or something, So if you're in that type of place and the water's coming in like rainwater or whatever and it's getting filtered or whatever, the houses should be cheap. It shouldn't be high at all. So that would be a cheap housing area for someone that has, sustainable energy and eco-friendly stuff going on. That was the plan for that for the homeless. So I mean, come on, homeless people don't got that a lot of money, so you got to make it reasonable in that type of way. Public-private partnerships. What the hell are they talking about here? Project could serve as a model for collaboration between government, nonprofits. Oh yeah, I got it now. And the private sector, demonstrating how these entitles can work together to address complex social changes, which is actually the whole thing of moving homeless people into the area where they might already have a community. There's a social change, there's a big social change, but as long as you got the collaboration between nonprofit organizations, local government, and private sectors, which would probably be the town itself or historical area that's claiming the town for themselves. So that's a whole different concept that came up. So this whole public-private partnership is a must. It must happen because you want everything to be checked off as right and perfect through the government. Man, I went through a lot of stuff here. So yeah, so here we go with the crowdfunding thoughts. Platforms like GoFundMe could be a powerful tool to raise funds for such a project by offering collaborations the opportunities to save a stake in the restored ghost town, whether through naming rights monuments, monumental. Okay, so yeah, that part there. I don't know what's a monument, but they do. Like the church has a sign there, so it's a monument, and so that would make a historical site, and you can't destroy it. Or even future residency options. What the hell? Residency options. It can create a source of ownership, the community, and involvement. So, I gotta write a lot of shit. Uh, so, I just want to restore the place, but I think GoFundMe is the ultimate way to get money without having to ask the government for loans and stuff. Because let's look at it reality wise. They already have the money to restore anything they want. They just don't do it because they figure that people, they put them all in one little area and then suck money out of them. That's why all these cities are going uh, bankrupt, or there's some kind of thing where they say, oh, we're in debt and all this crap and we need to borrow money from ourselves, and all that stuff I hate hearing about on the news, and why I quit watching news sometimes. But if we're talking about really using GoFundMe as a way to help people, then why not, instead of just trying to help one individual? And that's where GoFundMe is kind of bad. And you get all these con artists and scam artists coming around through GoFundMe because you're giving money to one story that you felt was more important than the next, and that it was so sad. When really it wasn't, because you find out later on these guys are scamming. That guy was a fake homeless person. This woman faked her breast cancer or whatever the hell, and it's not good. But in a situation like this, you know, the many outweigh the few. And so that would be all the homeless people that actually need the place would outweigh that few that's just trying to either get over or whatever. I tried to use GoFundMe when I was down and out, and no one gave a damn. And I don't even know what happened to it. I stayed up for like months, and I went back, kept looking at it, no one gave a damn. And so, but I mean, like, this situation would be more critical, and needs to happen immediately. Because like right now it's cold outside. I've seen people, and it blows the hell out of me how there's so many people like building fires at night. Because I've been doing DoorDash. I've been doing DoorDash, and at night I see people in front of businesses, and they got fire going, and there's like, I go around the block, go up a couple blocks, bang, there's another fire. So in places where it could actually catch fire, I drove underneath I think it was like an underpass or something, out towards heading south, going towards Salem, and there was like a big fire. These people were hiding in the woods or in the trees and stuff. And I said, "Holy crap! They're gonna burn some shit up." And this is a bad situation. You got a town on fire and stuff. And let's not forget, there's people that I've seen just literally lay down in the street. This woman was laying underneath a bridge, trying to lay underneath the bridge, and it was like before it started raining. Then it started raining, and she just kept laying there like, fuck it, I ain't got nowhere else to lay. And we can't have that. We can't have people dying out there in the streets and burning stuff to kill themselves just to stay warm. It's not real. It's not humanity. It's not cool. It's not humane is what I meant to say. Not humanity, but it's not humane to let people sit out and sleep in the streets like animals. Okay, this is what they used to do in old Britain. They had old homeless people running around, and then you had Oliver Swiss talking about, "Can I have some more, sir? More, please." You know what I'm saying? And it's like, what the hell? We're not Oliver Twist. Okay, we're American, and so we gotta be better than this. And this is why I keep writing in this stupid thing about freaking GoFundMe, because I believe, if we really gonna fix America, you gotta look at it like this: the government don't care. The government don't care. The rich people don't care. If you really want to care, go bring your money together and try to make this project I'm talking about, and help the people and get them out the street. We can fix America ourselves, and just show that we have to eat the rich and spit them out, because they're not doing nothing but making dumbasses out of themselves and acting like Puff Daddy, playing with baby lotion and toddlers. It's not cool. It's not cool. So, so this thing I wrote is brilliant if I sat back and actually kept going all the way through it, but I have no idea how long I've been talking. So I just want you guys to actually think if this would actually work, would you be willing to make this project happen? Would you be willing to gather people, anyone you knew, like an electrician, that someone that did electrician that doesn't work anymore, have them be a part of the thing, teach other people how to do it. He can make his own crew, have his own electrician crew by bringing in homeless people that from the street that need jobs. And it's a whole opportunity to start a future, to make things great, with just one person that has the knowledge on something, one butcher that might know something, that's probably lost his job, can't find nothing else to do, but then you come to town and hell, you know, taught people how to be a butcher. One person's a farmer that's like, his farm's not going too well. Well, now you got workers, people you could teach how to be a farmer. People that got a contracting license, you don't really have a team, you want to make more money. Bang, you got a team now. You got a team of homeless people that used to be homeless, but they've been helping build a town. Now they can help you be a contractor better. Mechanics, so on and so forth. I can go on and on. New opportunity. You have the skills, the knowledge, and now you can take that knowledge and share it with people who actually need that knowledge to be able to survive. And if they don't fit, there's someone else that's there to teach them and whatever. And so the job source will be way different than in a city where you just sit there and there are all these people sitting around and giving you applications or telling you to call a number or whatever to get a job. You're actually there right with the people saying, okay, I will take you as a woodworker. I would take you as a farmer, or I'll take you as a ranch hand or whatever. And then bang, they learn this. So it's a lot different. It should be a lot quicker and more sustainable for the people. Anyway, there's nothing really negative to say, so I can't say that there's everything's immoral. Right here, what I'm trying to do is moral. I think it's a way of reaching out and making things right in the community, and it needs to happen. Not just here in Oregon, but in New York, where there's the most homeless people. Nevada, California, Skid Row, all these places could take something from this area, because there's areas, like I say, in America that is not being seen by humans, and not being touched. Humans can't go there. They want to say it's a whole thing of trying to, stop the ecosystem from falling apart by having people move in areas where animals are going extinct. That's not the truth of it. They're hiding werewolves and Bigfoot and all kinds of little crazy creatures we don't know about. And so that's why we can't go in those places and live or cohabitate or whatever. But I believe if you take these 4 towns that I mentioned and actually put people in make them work, stabilize them, it would be a chain reaction like dominoes. It would happen all over every state, and all these old abandoned towns or ghost towns will come back and be more functional for people. We gotta change the system by changing the way things are, because obviously they're not working. And with that being said, this has been Moral High Ground. Peace be with you all. Blessings upon you always. And please leave a comment on anything I said today. Hopefully it's positive. The negative stuff, I ain't listening to y'all. You get a lot of haters around nowadays. A lot of people that's mad and frustrated and can't just let it out in a positive sense. They go online and bully people, or they go around doing crazy stuff and thinking it's right because they feel they have no consequences to their actions. And they feel that they can do anything they want as long as they can't get arrested for it, they're okay. But there's even a more higher power that has more authority than local governments and police officers. And that's the Almighty, and that's the way it is. Peace.